Hey everyone, welcome to Steph Style. I am Stephanie and I am an eBay reseller selling mostly women's clothing, some high-end, some designer, and accessories, bags, things like that, and then some other items. I get them from various places, and about every 10 days or so, I like to do a video about what has sold. My place that I sell things is, I do sell right from my channel here, but I also sell on eBay. eBay is the main place where I sell things. Someone asked me the other day why I do the recap videos about what sold, and not being snarky or anything, just wanted to know the answer. And there's a couple reasons I do these. First of all, if you're a person that also sells on eBay, it can give you ideas about what to try and source to sell for yourself. Over the years, I've watched other people do what sold videos and got some really good information about brands I didn't know about at the time. And I still continue to learn more from other resellers as I watch more people's what sold videos. So to help people, and it's also just interesting to see what sold and see what trends are on eBay and how much they sell for and things like that. So that's why I do the what sold on eBay videos. And I'm a part-time reseller, so if I was selling very much more than I do now, it would be a little bit hard to fit everything in one video about what sold. Also of note, I have been traveling a lot lately for personal and for work, so I haven't sold very much in the last 10 days, but I've sold enough to do a video. So, and then my travel is not stopping anytime soon, so it keeps life interesting, so that's just wonderful. Anyway, let's get started with the what sold. And the number one thing is the Equipment Femme silk long sleeve shirt. I got this gorgeous shirt at a thrift store in California. It sold for $25.50 and it took a couple months to sell. And of note, I'm not super familiar with the brand Equipment Femme. I do know it's a very high-end brand name. I think I could have sent that into the Real, but I probably made more money selling it on my own. It took about 2 months to sell, and it was super lightweight, so it was easy to ship. The hard part about it was a smaller shirt, and so sometimes those are a little bit harder to sell, but it did sell, and wonderful. Moving on to number 2 is a pair of e.l.f. brand Spirit Walker ankle booties. This brand was not a brand I was familiar with. I got them at a thrift store in Alabama, actually, and I didn't know. I just saw them on the shelf and I thought, oh, those are really neat looking. The leather looks quality, the craftsmanship looked good, and so I looked them up and there were a couple pairs out there and I took a chance on them. I think I just made a couple dollars on these. I didn't make any big profit, but it took them a couple months to sell, and I sold them for $29.25. And I think I got them for about $25. So maybe, when I think about fees and things like that included, I probably lost just a little bit. But again, that is the game we play. e.l.f. brand it's a good quality brand. They have great shoes. It's not very well known. And so there's just, probably not the number of people out there looking for it. So there's not a lot of competition. Anyway, number 3 is this Burberry pale blue hoodie. I got this gorgeous hoodie in a men's designer box, actually. And it turned out when I did the research on it, there weren't a lot of things to compare it to. But I did find out that it was actually a women's shirt, a women's hoodie. It was a really cool looking hoodie. It was just was really unique. And I found out after I sold it that it was someone from YouTube who had bought it. So thank you so much for that. I hope you love that sweatshirt. It's such a cool sweatshirt. If it had fit me, I would have kept it. It was a really pretty light blue as well. Anyway, like I said, that came in a men's designer box and it sold for $99 and it took about a month to sell. Moving on to number 4 is this Dooney & Bourke leather saddle bag. And, I kind of expected Dooney & Bourke to sell for more. Dooney & Bourke has such beautiful leather. It is a great brand name. And this was no exception. It was a beautiful purse. The leather was gorgeous. It was a super heavy bag. The leather made it really heavy, and the hardware. Anyway, I got this in a name brand handbag box from ThredUP. And it took about 3+ months to sell. It took a while to sell, and I had to discount it a couple of times. But it did sell for $29. And I think, I about broke even on that one. I thought it would sell for a little bit more. It was really a gorgeous purse. I cleaned it up really nicely. The inside did have some marks on the liner, so hopefully they do like the purse. It was a really gorgeous one. Like I said, I think maybe because it was an older style is probably why it didn't sell for as much. But Dooney & is a really good brand name. If you ever see that brand name out and about, definitely have a look and see and do a little research on it. The fifth item was this Steve Madden crossbody bag and 3-piece gift set. This was an item that I got on clearance, yellow tag clearance from Tjmaxx. I really didn't know. I had learned something really good of value this year. After shopping the tons of stuff that I got on the yellow tag clearance, I learned a lot. And the biggest thing I learned from that yellow tag clearance is Steve Madden items sell well. They're super popular. All of the Steve Madden items that I've listed so far since then have at least gotten a lot of watchers, and I know they'll sell eventually. But I've already sold quite a few of them. I probably bought 20 or 25 items with the Steve Madden name on them. This gift set sold for $53. I think the price tag on it was $99, $98 or something like that. So the person still got a deal, and I got a deal on it too because I did pretty well on it. It only took about a month to sell, and I don't know. I didn't know. I've never really bought Steve Madden items. I mean, they're always cute. I love them. I mean, they look nice. But yeah, it sold well. I hope they love their gift set. It was a really pretty gift set. And then I think I said, yeah, Tjmaxx is where I got that one, and it sold for $53. So moving on to number 6 is this Kate Spade small black nylon tote. It came in a name brand handbag box from ThredUP. And I don't, there's probably a lot of those out there on eBay and all of the selling platforms. So it's a little bit hard to get your name out there when you're selling one of these Kate Spade bags. But it did sell. It took about 3 months to sell, and it sold for $29. Not the best, but it did sell, and I'm pretty happy with that. So we all know Kate Spade makes great items. There's just so many out there. It's hard to break through the crowd when you're selling one of the items, especially if your item has a few faults, you know. But anyway, that's how it goes. But speaking of Kate Spade, number 7 is this pair of cute pink tweed Kate Spade slip-on sandals in a great size. They were in a good size, size 8.5. They took about 8 weeks to sell. I got these from an online thrift store that I knew about, St. Matthew's, actually. I got it from their online thrift store at the end of the year sale. And I mean, I only got $20 for them. I was really kind of surprised about that, but I have never sold Kate Spade shoes until this time. And maybe it's because they had a little bit of wear to them. They didn't have a lot of wear to them, but they didn't, $20 is not a lot to sell them for. So yeah, it was a little disappointing, but they did sell. They were really gorgeous shoes. I wish they had, I probably could have made them work for myself, but also they didn't have a back on the heel, and I like to have something to cling on to the back, to hold on the back of your foot. So they really weren't for me. But anyway, so Kate Spade shoes, I'm not sure about that. I guess I would try it again sometime, but I'm not convinced that they would sell for a lot. So moving on to number 8 is this pair of UGG brand new leopard print slip-on shoes. Really, really cute pair of shoes. I got them, they're brand new from Tjmaxx. I got them on the Tjmaxx yellow tag clearance. They sold for $42, and it took about 4 weeks for those to sell. I mean, UGG is a great brand name, and I haven't seen a lot of other things besides their boots, but it looks like they're branching out now, and those shoes sold really well and for a good price. So if you ever see UGG and you see some of their newer styles coming out, definitely worth a look at that. Moving on to number 9 is this Burberry Brit blue women's long sleeve shirt. It was a smaller size. It did come in a DIY designer box. I kind of had high hopes for this shirt. I thought it would sell for a little bit more than it did. It took 8 weeks to sell, and it sold for $25. Again, I can account some of it to the fact that it was a smaller size and they don't sell as well. But I really thought a Burberry Brit shirt in good condition would have sold for more than $25. But, it was a little bit surprising, but Anyway, it did sell, and again, I just hope whoever got it loves it. And number 10 is my favorite sale of this past 10 days, and that sale is a little story here. I was at a thrift store kind of looking for things to sell, and I always check the electronics department. I know a thing or two about electronics, and I'm no expert, but I do know enough to know whether I want to sell an item or not. And it's also a department a lot of people overlook. So if you ever get a chance to go in there, there was a little box that had, it said something about someone's retainer. And I thought, okay, nobody's selling their retainer. So I looked in the box, and in the box was this item that I sold, which was a relief band, anti-nausea wristband. I saw it sitting in there along with, so the box was not correct. What it said was, that's kind of weird to think about someone selling their retainer, but of course it wasn't that in there. It was this wristband, and I did the research on it, and the brand new, they were selling for $180, $160, $150, brand new. I didn't see any used ones out there. And so I did a little research, and I thought, oh my gosh, if you want an anti-nausea wristband, you certainly don't want to pay that much, and why not buy a used one? I know I would. I buy many, many things used rather than new and save money. So anyway, so I got this. I only paid $1 for it, and it sold for $69. It took about 3 weeks to sell. I had hoped it would sell because, I mean, gosh, it's a good deal for somebody. So, and it worked. I did test it, and it was working. So that was a great sale, and I really hope they like this item, and I hope it comes of good use, because being nauseous is not a fun thing. And last but not least, item that sold this past 10 days is this Farm Rio skirt. And this item was my own skirt that I had worn. It was in excellent condition, and I sold it for $48, and it took 2 weeks to sell. And as I've said before on my channel, if you find anything at all with Farm Rio brand, I don't care what it is. Even if it has some wear to it or a fault or two, Farm Rio is a super hot brand name. So if you find anything by that brand name, if you can get it for a decent price, get it. Look up the comps, of course, but you definitely want to be pulling in that brand name. It's a great brand, and it sells really well for a lot of money, and it sells fast. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in today, and let me know in the comments what you thought. If you've sold any of these brands, or if you have any comments about what I've sold, I'd love to hear them. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.